Searles. I am founder of SuccessTrainingSystems.com, and I'm a business coach and consultant.
We are back with Dan Kennedy, Ultimate Lead Generation Machine. Dan, we're going to do a speed round here where people are going to be peppering you with question after question after question. See if we can stump Dan. This is going to be Stump Dan, the Stump Dan session. But we've got some good news. We're going to go over the new members, and you see who the first person is there.
There he is.
Kang.
There he is.
Kang Go from Australia.
There we go.
Kang. Thank you very much. Congratulations, I should actually say, on getting the Ultimate Lead Generation Machine. We've got Donald K. from North Carolina, Kevin from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. All right. Brad from Lincoln, Nebraska. Ian J. from the UK. Tim M. from Apple Valley.
It's in Minnesota.
Is that Minnesota?
Apple Valley, Minnesota.
Okay.
I've been there.
Have you? Is it a nice place?
It's lovely.
Well, we've got somebody who's got it's going to be generating
no
leads.
apples,
but generating leads like crazy now. Generating leads like crazy. We've got Tim M. I just said that. We've got Marlene M. from the UK, Paul S. from Saratoga Springs, New York, DJ from Sherwood, Arizona.
Or Arkansas.
Or Arkansas. That's right. I thought Arkansas was no, that's Alaska. AK? Who knows?
Alaska's AK.
DJ from Sherwood is also now a member. We have Anthony E. from Ontario. Okay, so we're going to go some questions from the viewers here. If you've got questions for Dan, make sure that you put them in. Also, make sure that you click that big red button and that you get the Ultimate Lead Generation Machine so you can put it in your business as well as get all of the bonuses. Remember, the Midas Touch bonus, the complete Midas Touch Classic program, is only available during this broadcast. Once this broadcast is over, that bonus goes away. Okay, so Dan, this is the question that comes. Dan advocates using multiple sources for generating leads. What are his top 3 sources in terms of cost and quality?
It's not a good question.
It's
more like pepper spray than being peppered. So here's what's wrong with the question.
Okay.
All right? 2 things. First, the answer is very situational.
Right.
Okay? So you're now into something for which there cannot be and ought not be
a single answer.
The 10 Commandments on the carved rock, right? So you've got to take the instructions, the models, and apply them. The second reason it's a bad question is because it focuses on the issue of cost, which at least implies he's really asking what are the lowest cost means of lead generation, which that ought not be the question unless someone is absolutely, eating with spare change out of the couch. I mean, they are without resources. Other than that, the real question has to do with what are the most productive, what bring you the most appropriate customer, client, patient, subscriber, member, whatever, and what yield the highest value customer, client, patient, or member. And often, not always, but often, the lowest cost opens the widest door. That's how you suppress the cost, is we don't do any qualifying, disqualifying. We cast the broadest possible, most appealing offer so everybody and anybody walks through the door. We then create another cost of inefficiency now, because what we've now created for ourselves is this giant haystack in which we have to go find needles. And there is a cost. If there's no other cost, there's delay, which again, if you happen to be resources tight, the last thing you want is delay.
Right.
Okay? So all you've really done is moved the cost. Right? And so there's a correct combination for everybody of attracting the most appropriate, of most productive and most valuable and ROI over, excuse me, over top of all that. However, I'll quickly give an answer that a lot of people wouldn't think about, that is very low cost. So if that's, and it's one of the best, and it's one of the least used, which is lead generating back into your own customer list. Right? So if you already have customers, right, and you continue to put everything you do in front of them, which is what most people do, right, you can lead generate into your own list for something specific. Right? So we have several dentists, for example, who I know personally, who are either in a mastermind group or whatever, who will lead generate into their own patient base purely for implant and an implant seminar. Now the patient may not need them, but he's got an adult parent, et cetera. So again, now pure lead generation, free report, free book, free webinar, free seminar, all about the modern, painless, instant. There's facelift dentures now. So they'll lead generate into their own customer base. The financial advisor can lead generate in purely about a 401k rollover and the ticking time bombs in your 401k. Now, if you don't have a 401k, that doesn't resonate with you. Right. But obviously, if you do, that's very magnetic. So almost anybody can lead generate into their own list, which is very low cost. It's very efficient, and it can be very quick.
I think one of the key things is in the machine, it's not just one machine. There's many different machines that you can choose from, whatever is appropriate for you to install in your business. Okay, this comes from Brian Conway. He says, I sell to corporate customers. Can you do lead generation to major corporates who have preferred suppliers lists and purchasing groups rather than consumers?
All the more important. If you're on the list, fine. If you're not on the list, now it's critical. Because you have stuff in your way that you have to circumvent. Right? The best circumvention of all in B2B is top-down driven. So is a CEO, or at least somebody a layer or two above whoever you would normally sell to, who responds to a lead generation offer in media that he sees and pays attention to, and now goes to his people and says, look what I found, and I want you to follow up on this. And now it doesn't matter what the answer is. Well, these guys aren't on a preferred vendor list.
Doesn't matter.
Well, we'll put them on the preferred vendor list because I want you to follow up on this, right? Well, we get this stuff from Charlie, and Charlie takes me fishing once a year. Great, you're buying your own fishing trip. I want it, right? So a lot of lead generation in the B2B environment is about circumventing all of the crap that's in your way and driving now business to you from the top down, which you almost can only do by lead generation, of bringing someone to an informational step that impresses them. So I have a client right now I'm doing a major project for, who is a money under management guy, about $1 billion, 1.1 billion under management. His only clients are people who are selling or have recently sold a company for $15 to $50 million. That's his target. Okay? And so he's very specialized, and his message is very specialized, and so forth. The overwhelming majority of those people get moved from whoever was their merger and acquisition firm or consultant, or the lawyer involved in the process, or the CPA involved in the process. They tend to move that person to their financial advisor, or they may be in dual roles because there's suddenly a whole ton of money that has to be put somewhere. And so they try and profit from that. And they have existing relationships, and they're in the way. So his process has to circumvent all that, get to this person, preferably early, and get them to raise their hand, request information, and begin a information-based relation with him, so we get to unseat the guy who would normally be there.
Wow, so it's mission critical then.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So,
absolutely.
So there is your answer. Here we have Dan.
No one in B2B,
okay.
no one in B2B small or big, Fortune 500 or Main Street business, should in any way discount the relevance, the viability of this to what it is that they do.
Right. And again, there's example after example after example from B2B.
And so whoever that was,
he's got to get it.
Push the damn button.
Actually, he did.
Good for him.
Actually, did so much. So did a whole bunch of other people. So again, all I got to do is put. As Dan, is that our new call to action?
That's the new call to action.
Push the damn button.
Yeah.
Let's push the damn button. That's the Kennedy call to action. All right, here we got another one. Dan, I have a cake tin store online.
A what?
A cake tin store online.
Cake tin? Tin?
Tin.
Tin.
Cake tins.
Ah, okay.
Cake tins.
Okay.
Selling, and guess what they sell?
I'm going to guess Tupperware. No, cake tins.
You're good. You're good. You've been studying the cold reading. You've been studying the cold reading. Okay, and I'm struggling to find out who my target market is. How do I find this out? How do I reach them?
Well, the first thing for most people, and for this person, so there's several quick answers. One is, of course, if you already have a customer, 10 customers, 100 customers, you have data which you may or may not have mined. You have data you may or may not have collected. So you need to know what you can know from whatever customers you already have. Often people have it and haven't mined it. So my favorite quick story, the guy who was in my mastermind groups for several years, Larry McIntyre, his business finds foreign brides for American men, doing lead generation advertising, big, broad media.
Right.
Okay? Had never mined his data. When we mined his data, it turns out a huge percentage of his customers and a even bigger percentage of his best customers are 3 times divorced long-haul truck drivers.
Long-haul truck drivers.
Yes. Now, as soon as you have that piece of information, you have a whole new set of things you can do. You can affect the media you use, because there's media just for truck drivers. You can affect the message. Now we can make the message specifically for truck. So there's also things you can do as soon as you have them. So a lot of people have data they just haven't mined. Then other people have data they haven't collected. They have customers, but they've never sat down with them. They've never focus grouped them. They've never had a lunch and invited 20 of them in. They've never sent them a survey and incentivized them. And so the first place to go is who buys cake tins from me now, because the more we know, the more we can clone. All right? Second place is who buys cake tins from somebody else or buys directly related merchandise from somebody else, right? That gets us, by the way, to mailing lists, which gets us to Craig Simpson's information, because there's a ton of that data available if you just know where to look.
Right, and Craig shows you exactly how to find that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So there's who's buying the product or a related product from somebody now who's far further along than I am, more successful than I am, has more customers, therefore they have more data, and in many cases, that data is available.
Right.
So if there's a cake tin magazine or newsletter, chances are the data of those subscribers
is available.
Yeah. Then the third thing is you've got to go into physical sales environments where these people may be and get a booth, sell at a swap meet in order to get more data if you don't have enough data about who they are.
So there you go. I mean, that's exactly how you do it. And again, on the one of the bonus DVDs, Craig Simpson goes through and shows that's the advantage of direct mail.
Yeah.
Because you can really target and find the buyer of cake tins. You just have to know how to do it. All right, so the next question looks like a long one here. This is from David Lieb. David says, what proportion of customer value should I spend to acquire a lead? For example, if a customer has a yearly value of $1,000, how much should I be willing to spend to acquire that lead? Is it as much as I can afford so I can outspend my competitors? That's actually a pretty good question.
Well, so let's assume the $1,000 is net after cost of fulfillment.
Right.
For the sake of conversation.
Right.
Okay. So every customer is worth $1,000 to us in the first 12 months that we own them. Right? So the first question to ask and answer is not the lead question, it's the CPS question, cost per sale.
Okay.
Right? So what will you spend to get that customer, to get them and extract that $1,000? Okay? So some people would answer, if there's enough of them, $999, right? Because if I can get 1 million of them, I made $1 million. Other people will say, I'd spend half, I'll spend 500. Okay? Someone will say, I don't want to spend more than $5. That's usually a person I can't help, we can't help,
Right.
this can't help,
Right.
right? Because their expectations border on the ridiculous.
Right.
Okay? So the cost per sale number is important. Once we have that, then we can reverse engineer our way to cost per lead. Okay? Now the only way we're going to know that is by running lead generation campaigns and seeing what happens and what now, because if leads from this source cost us, if our cost per sale that we'll allow is 500, leads from this source cost us 50, and we can convert 1 out of 10, we're golden. If we can only convert a half of 1 out of 10, the numbers don't match. Right? The other important thing to know is you want a dollar cost average
All lead
across
generation,
all lead generation.
That's a real, can you go over that? Because that's
not
really
only do
important.
the 3 cheapest ones.
That's
well, that's the
really
way a lot of people shoot themselves in the foot.
Right. This is a key piece of information.
So if he did 5 things,
Right.
and there were 2 that produced leads at $5 a piece that converted, and then 2 others that cost $50 a piece, he would tend to drop the 2 that cost 50 and only do the 2 that cost 5. If you're in a growth mode, if you're not at 100% capacity, like say in a practice, you can't take another patient. If you're in a growth mode, or you're in a race against time and competition and all that, so if for some reason you want as many good customers as you can get, then you want as many methods as you can get, which means you have to dollar cost average. You can't throw out the most expensive ones. You can't live only on the cheapest ones. You want as many as you can get that delivers an acceptable average cost per lead that leads to a cost per sale you're happy with, that now builds your business. The outspend everybody else is definitely a goal. Now, not stupid outspend, where we just, you know, so our competitor buys 1 Super Bowl ad, we're going to buy 5. Right? No, but outspend them in a measurable way, right? And generally speaking, the path to that, because it's a great position of power, is when you can spend more for a lead and more for a customer than everybody else in your category who is talking to those same people. It's very powerful. It allows us to send a FedEx instead of a piece of mail. It allows us to send 12 things to them instead of 6. It allows us to do personalization instead of generic, on and on and on. So it's very powerful. You tend to get there 2 ways. 1, price strategy, and 2, and it helps price strategy, is with a comprehensive and sophisticated process that allows you to fully monetize the leads you get. So very few businesses, that I always say they have more holes in their bucket than they got bucket, right? So, you know, they get leads, but all the money's dribbling out all these holes, right? So you plug all those holes, which is as much a part of this as is the generation of the leads in the first place.
We haven't really talked about that, actually.
Yeah, but it is.
It's
is
about conversion, too.
Yes.
It's about taking through the entire funnel from generating a lead to turning that into money.
Exactly.
Right.
So most people, most business people, are not at all sophisticated, comprehensive, organized about any of that. So they can't spend a lot of money. So the optical store, I'm looking at your glasses. So the optical store who brings people in, right, and gets phone calls from advertising that only offers come in for an exam, and people call up and ask 4 questions and then don't book an exam. They can't spend as much to generate those calls as the optical store, who's really good at capturing information from those leads, whether they book an exam or not, and then plugging them into a funnel that so they can spend a lot more to make that phone ring in the first place. And so you can get to a point you can outspend and still make more money than all of your competitors as well.
As long as you have a machine in place that you know works. So give them the call to action again.
Oh, yeah, push the damn button. Yeah. Push the damn button, buddy.
All right. Here we go. This is a comment from someone from Todd Kruger. Tom says, "I'm sold on Dan and the lead generation machine. Took the leap and purchased, and I want to be the next Lloyd Irvin." Good goal.
Well, there you go.
Good goal.
Yeah.
Congratulations. All right. Tom Crumbly asked, "Will this program work with insurance sales, life, and health?" I know the answer, but go ahead. You answer that question.
No, that and cookie tins
Is
are
out.
the two things. I mean, yeah, of course. All right. First of all, any business that drives to a sales event, it doesn't matter if I'm going to get in front of you face to face, if I'm going to talk to you on the phone, if you're going to come to my showroom, I'm going to come to your office, I'm going to come to your home, you're going to come to a webinar, you're going to come into a room for any business that drives to a sales event is best driven by lead generation.
Absolutely.
It's best driven by lead generation. Second, the insurance and financial services industry is a bit more sophisticated about this already than most. And so you do see in life insurance and in health insurance and in financial planning, you do see companies and individuals at least doing hybrid, at least doing main offer, let me come bother you, or let me send you X, or go here. You at least see it. Now the big dogs are pretty dumb about it. So you still see MetLife running TV commercials with Snoopy and Linus and so forth, that they do show a website, but they don't give anybody any reason to go there or anything they're going to get when they go there, right? And truth be told, a company like MetLife runs those ads more
For investors.
for Wall Street and for their sales force.
Right.
Okay? That's motivation for the troops, okay? But it's not effective advertising. But if you drop down to lesser sized life insurance companies, you will see they are doing lead generation, and you will definitely see successful agents doing lead generation.
Yeah, well, if you go to financial, our friend Matt Zagula,
Absolutely.
who just wrote the great book,
Trust Book with me.
Trust Book with Matt Zagula. I mean, Matt is a master of lead generation. He's in Weirton, Kentucky. Was that
Weirton, West Virginia.
Weirton, West Virginia.
Yes.
What is he doing? Like 3 million?
It's where they would have filmed Deliverance if there'd been any electricity. That's where.
And he's crushing it.
Crushing
it.
Crushing
And he's
and
following.
50% of his business comes from outside Weirton.
That's right.
Which further speaks to lead generation.
And that's exactly what he's doing.
By the way, another thing a lead generation machine does for you, if you do have a fixed location business, okay, it expands the circumference around you in which you can effectively market and draw customers to you. Because if through lead generation and information you develop profound preference, right, and I want you, I will go further in order to get you than I will if I'm not developing profound preference in the first place.
Right.
So if I'm going to find my dentist by Google Places, I'm only going to go to the dentist who's
closest,
within 6 feet.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
But if I find my dentist by having been lead generated and driven through an information process to the point that I think my dentist, this guy is, if I'm going to have this done, this is the guy.
Right.
Okay? Now it's not 6 feet, it's not 6 miles, it may not even be 60 miles. So we can expand the range.
Absolutely. Let's go to another question. This comes from David. How long do we continue to pursue a lead who has purchased? Until they buy or die?
Until they buy or die, if those economics make sense.
Okay.
All right. So the management of unconverted leads, first of all, people will find in the machine there's intense short-term going at a lead, there's maintenance level communication with a lead, and if you're into maintenance level, then periodically you run an intense sequence again, and then you go back to maintenance. Right? So that's in the stuff, right? The buy or die question is a economic question. It is back to the first question in speed round, right? Is what am I willing to spend now to make a sale, right? And how long can I keep these leads in a communication process and have that work back out to a cost per sale number that I can live with? There's also some common sense. And the common sense says that certain kinds of purchases have people gestating about them for longer periods of time than others, right? And we err in not giving people that opportunity who need that opportunity. You will see companies purge their unconverted lead lists by various ways, which I also discussed in Mailbox Millions. A common one is at some point a low-end entry offer that is so irresistible and so low priced that if you say no to that, we can reasonably assume you're never going to say yes to anything. And they will purge their list that way. There's other ways to purge the list. There's also the exchange issue I talked about earlier, which is another way to handle accumulated unconverted leads and monetize them without monetizing them with your own goods and services. So it is buy or die within the economics of your business, which is situational.
Right, and with common sense, as you're saying. You know, I want to just talk a little bit about what is actually in the Ultimate Lead Generation Machine, just very, very quickly. We want to get to more of your questions. So this is actually everything that you need to generate and convert leads into customers, clients, most importantly, money into your bank account. You get Dan's Mailbox Millions from a $3,000 event that he did. It includes the DVDs, the CDs of the event, a giant manual, which is really, quite frankly, a swipe file of top million-dollar producing direct mail pieces that you can take and that you can model. In addition to that, you get insider secrets for selecting mailing lists. We had a lot of questions about how do I find my ideal person. Getting the proper mailing list is one of the best ways to do it. That's with Craig Simpson. In addition to that, you get the GKIC's top secret
Ninja.
I like the way you said it too, by the way. That was good. I like that. Ninja funnels, where Darcy and I, our marketing director, and I go through and we explain 5 different funnels about how we generate the lead, the entire funnel, the entire process we take them through to convert lead to client, to collect customer, to subscriber. And it drives our entire empire. In addition to that, you're going to get the funnel maps where they're laid out for you step by step. So even if you don't want to watch the DVD, you can just follow the map and model it. And then in addition, you get all of the samples. So all of our campaigns that we use for these 5 funnels are in this program. You also get 6 online mastery DVDs. Each features a different online million-dollar marketer teaching you the best ways to generate leads online. We've got a DVD from Rich Sheffrin where he's going to teach the real insider secrets to ultimate lead generation. We've got how to use Google AdWords to create an explosion of qualified leads by Google insider Brittany Lynch. We've got the #1 guy on social media, Don Crowther. You may not have heard of Don, but Don is actually doing it, making money with social media. And his DVD is They Don't Have to Like You, Why Almost Everyone is Dead Wrong About Facebook Advertising and How to Really Mine Gold on Facebook. We also have an incredible teaching DVD by Ryan Deich. Ryan takes one of his top marketing methods, his top lead generation online methods, takes you through it step by step. You simply follow the steps. You'll be able to implement it and get results instantly. And then we have the Real Insider Secrets for Working with Affiliates and Partners by none other than Jeff Walker. This is a great way, Dan, if you don't have a lot of money, to get started generating leads, is work with partners, work with affiliates.
OPC is often better than OPM.
Talk about what that means.
Well, so a lot of people think, so classic like business school stuff, right, is OPM is other people's money. So we don't have money, we got to go borrow money, we got to go sell a piece of our company to get money, that's other people's money, right? OPC is other people's customers. So if I have a choice between getting money from somebody to grow my business or getting customers from somebody to grow, I'll take customers any day of the week because it's a smaller haystack with more needles.
Right.
They already got customers.
Right.
Over here, I'm going to take money and I'm going to build a big haystack in which I got to extract needles.
Right.
It's also faster, right? And often, people with customers cannot sate their customers' appetite with all their own stuff.
Right.
Okay? So the catalog industry is really all about other people's customers. QVC is all about other people's customers. All this media is about other people's customers, and now they need stuff to put in front of those customers. And so it's a very important thing that Jeff has brought to the table, and it's a very useful thing for people with limited financial resources.
Yeah, and the thing I want to point out is these guys go in depth on these DVDs. So this isn't like a teaser thing where they're going to try to sell you an expensive package. That's not how it is at all. It's complete teaching. You take it, you implement it, and you get the results. And then you also get the DVD by Mike Littman. Mike's is Hidden Secrets for Converting Email Lists to Online Traffic and Leads. In addition to that, you get how to use dirt cheap postcards and simple newsletters to drive massive traffic and lead flows and profits. Fast Start Installation CD, where I take you through the entire program because it is a hefty program, tell you what to do first, what to do second, so you can get results as quickly as possible. In addition to all of that, as a bonus, you're going to get our flagship product, Magnetic Marketing for the New Economy. This is the current updated Magnetic Marketing. It is full of marketing materials, lead generation that Dan has put together. It's basically fill in the blank, as well as examples of people who have taken Magnetic Marketing and converted it for their industry. Regardless of what business that you're in, your business category is in here. The beauty of this is you take it, you can start generating leads instantly. There's a secret, insider secrets that the United States Post Office doesn't want you to know. Again, really top information if you're going to be using direct mail, and as we've talked about, you should. Then the major bonus that we are going to be giving you, if you're one of the next, I think it's probably maybe 150 now. I'm not even sure.
Well, you're worse than that.
That's worse than that. Okay, is if you get this, if you're the next 150 people to
Push the damn button.
Click the damn button. You're going to get a ticket to the Info Summit. Now, this ticket alone has a value of $1,997. This is the who's who of information marketing. Dan's going to be there doing a number of presentations. Rich Sheffrin is going to be there. It's just an unbelievable event. It's happening in November. If you can't make it to that, no problem. You can also come to the Super Conference, which is happening next year. In total, this has a value of well over $8,000, but you can get it today for just 3 payments of $697 or one investment of $1,997. Another bonus that I keep failing to mention is, Dan, we've convinced you, and when you were in a weakened state, a hypnotic trance I put you in, to do 3 live Q&A calls. Yeah, for the folks who invest in this. So you'll be able to talk to Dan, have the opportunity to talk to him, ask him your questions about how you can put the machine in your business. Additionally, and this is just for this broadcast, and I think we only have one more segment today, so it's just for this broadcast. If you click the damn button, as Dan says, get the machine, you're also going to get the classic Midas Touch marketing program, the complete library, Midas Touch direct marketing, Midas Touch selling, and Midas Touch marketing. These are originally 12 cassettes. We found them. The information is evergreen as ever, and you're going to get instantly download those once you get the Ultimate Lead Generation Machine. So get it right now by clicking the button or by going to ultimateleadgenerationmachine.com. Now, Dan, we're going to take some more questions here, but the other thing I want to tell the folks is that, again, this is completely guaranteed. If you get it. Check it out for 30 days. If you don't think it's for you, and quite frankly, if it's not for you, we want you to send it back. We will give you your money back. So click the button right below this and get this now. So Dan, I wanted to quickly, before we go to more questions here, you've got a great strategy for people who do, a lot of the folks watching do webinars, they do teleseminars, and you've got an unbelievable strategy. I don't know if you made it up or whatever, but it's really how someone can really increase their profits 5, 10, 15, 20 times by doing this little trick after the webinar to the people who don't buy.
Well,
this is huge information.
Yeah, although actually, so it isn't, I don't know who made it up, but it's no different than the follow-up letter from the success event that you got from which you bought magnetic marketing after you refused to buy magnetic marketing at the event, right? A sales event is a sales event is a sales event. So it doesn't matter if it's a face-to-face appointment in a hearing aid center where you came in to get a diagnostic exam and you got a sales presentation about hearing aids and you didn't buy hearing aids, or if it's 500 people who were driven to a webinar and 350 of them did not buy. Right? So the first really bad assumption made by a lot of marketers and salespeople is we just gave them our best show. We put them in the best environment. We did the best thing we know how to do with them. If they didn't buy there, why spend more money on them? Which is a horrible assumption, because there's all sorts of reasons people can't, won't buy immediately. Okay? And so in all of these cases, if there is a follow-up process in place for the non-buyers, you will almost always at least acquire new customers at break even, if not make additional profit. So depending again upon the economics to your specific case, webinar or teleseminar, we will take the non-buyers. We will at least direct mail them. If the economics allow it, we will FedEx them a long-form sales letter, which really remakes the presentation that was made in the webinar, and in most cases can be written from a transcript of the webinar. We may send them a DVD or an audio CD of the webinar. We may send them additional testimonials. We may send them additional stuff to facilitate the sale that we didn't include in the webinar. We will acknowledge the reasons why they may not have bought immediately. Reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. We will answer those reasons, and we will give them a limited window of time to get the same offer that they missed out on during the webinar or any other sales event. Then, if that response is significant, encouraging, then additional steps. Now, there may be another step against a deadline for that offer. There may be 6 payments instead of 3 payments. So there may be a modification to the offer to make it easier to buy. There may be an up the ante to the offer, a different bonus that might drive you, that bonus A didn't drive you. And ultimately, there may be a drop-down offer to something different, perhaps lower in price, but really a different way to achieve the same thing that you were interested in achieving in the first place. So if we drive everybody to a webinar about, let's say, the latest Body by Jake machine, right? And you don't buy that machine, it doesn't mean you don't want abs of steel.
No, because that's why I was on the webinar.
Of course, okay? So at some point, we or somebody we exchange leads with should be in this sequence showing up to you and saying, we got a magic belt. We have a protein shake.
Right.
We have, right?
Right.
And so this could be a fairly elongated process, again, which is why you want leads. Some people actually drive people to webinars and don't capture the information of who was on the webinar.
That's insane.
How nutty can you be?
Right. By the way, your webinar is your lead generation magnet in this case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So years ago, we had a speaker on the road. His name was Foster Hibbert. And we put doctors in evening seminars, 30 to 50 docs in an evening seminar, 3 hours to make a sale. Now, Foster closed 90 to 95% of the, I mean, it was not uncommon for him to have 2 left over who didn't buy. Foster would work at it a lot harder than I would have worked at it. So before leaving to go to the next town the next morning, Foster would call them all, both of them. Okay? He would go to their office on his way out of town and say, you're one of the only 2 doctors who didn't take advantage of this last night. I haven't been able to sleep. I'm concerned about you. There's probably only 3 reasons you didn't do it. Let's work this out and get this in your hands. Now, that's primitive. Okay? over the course of a year, it probably represented about $500,000 of additional revenue. So it's not trivial, but it is primitive, right? However, the same principle applies. It's just we can do it much more effectively and efficiently if we do it through media. So again, there's the generation of leads, okay? And I would again make the distinction that it is, for the online people, you can think of it as attracting traffic, but traffic leads to leads. They are not the same. So it's the generation of leads. Then it is the sales event of whatever that sales event is. Then it is the further mining and monetization of the leads by process once they become an unconverted lead. And another little piece of inside baseball. A lot of my clients, particularly in information marketing, who generate a lot of leads, that piece, the effective and comprehensive monetization of unconverted leads, at the end of a year has driven as much profit to the bottom line as have the ongoing business with the existing customers that were created in the first place. It's almost like having two businesses when before you had one. And this machine makes that possible. It literally takes your one business and makes it two businesses that could be equivalently profitable.
And so all they've got to do to get this is what?
Is push the damn button.
And again, is this easy to do? Yeah, it's easy. What was the thing that Jim Rohn said? He had a little thing. It's simple.
It's simple, but not necessarily easy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not really nuclear physics.
No.
You know? I mean, so understanding it, but then you have the implementation problem. You know, I always say, the fat doctor who smokes, it's not because he didn't get the memo. All right? So, I mean, they had a whole class on that.
Right.
He gets it. Right? He just fails at implementation, which is why this is a big toolbox, not just a big education box.
Really important key. That's a key point. This is not just education at all.
No.
I mean, it's really designed.
No, it's stuff to do.
Right. So if you're not going to do it, don't get it.
Well,
right.
I get it, but
get it.
Want, but
get it. It looks nice.
Yeah, I mean that one. We could send them the one that's got the little easel on the back that holds it up so they can look at it. But
the ninja.
Yeah, but I mean, no, seriously, it is a big toolbox to be used, not a bunch of CDs and DVDs just to be watched and listened to like you read a book.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what results have your clients got that from using this? I'd like you to talk about, because I think it's just a brilliant campaign that you did with Matt Zagula. For the financial advisor, you were coaching financial advisors. Just take people through that, because it really shows the power of offline to online, to the total integration. And just if you
as an info marketer, I mean, we created roughly a $2 million coaching business.
How quickly did you create that $2 million business?
4 months, 5 months.
4 months.
Yeah,
5 months, right?
4 or 5 months.
Right.
And the $2 million was all collected over 24 months. The business was created on several legs. Some of it thanks to a host partner, which you talked about earlier. Other people's customers, as I said, are more valuable than other people's money. But also by a direct lead generation campaign in media, in that industry, driving people from print ads and direct mail, but mostly print ads. So that, now you want simple. One ad, 3 magazines.
Same ad.
One time.
Right. Really, one time.
Yeah, we didn't need to run it. Well, no, we ran twice, but one buy.
Okay, right.
Okay. Driving people online to a site now that sifted and sorted them, because they had to qualify a little bit once they were there. And we candidly just threw the minnows back. We only took the whales. We could have monetized the minnows. We just chose not to. So I took them online to an online presentation, which then had them request a free book, which now was sent to them hard, offline, and followed up with direct mail. And it's a fairly classic enter a niche campaign approach. It uses both. It's offline to online to offline, which you will find in the machine. You'll find templated models and examples for offline to online to offline, online to offline to online. And so there's different
Sure.
ways to rearrange those pieces. You know, if you look at, so a client of mine, longtime GKIC member, the company is, people can go look at it, it's safetytechnology.com, which actually is an e-commerce business that puts people in e-commerce businesses.
Right.
However, the overwhelming majority of the leads are driven to it by print ads predominantly. That's number one.
Right.
Okay? Direct mail, number two, and then online media, number three. Okay? So there's an e-commerce driven business that actually puts people in e-commerce businesses, driven offline to online.
Right.
Okay? And it's also offline to offline.
Right.
Because the package that they request once they get online, that puts them in the business, is delivered to them offline.
Right.
Their web hosting is sold to them with offline media.
Right. Here's what's really cool. In the top secret Ninja funnels, I like the way you say it better. So the top secret Ninja. That's right. The top secret Ninja funnels. Matt gave us permission. That's one of the funnels that we go over, and his marketing materials and everything that you guys used is included in there, step by step, exactly how you did.
And by the way, we're choosing not to, but we could run it again.
Sure.
And we would create another
$2 million
Yeah,
business.
because the whole thing's driven with 63 customers. It's not like we used up the niche.
Absolutely. So what you need to do is you just need to push the. Sorry, I got you.
Damn button.
Thank you. Push the damn button. Get this system. It's completely guaranteed. If you get it during this program, you're going to get bonuses that are only available for folks who get it during this program. You have to be one of the next, 140 people in order to get the $2,000 Info Summit ticket. So make sure that you take advantage of this right now. Click the big red button right now, or go to ultimateleadgenerationmachine.com. Dan, we're going to be back.
And everybody ought to know there ain't no better deal coming.
No.
This is it.
There is no better deal coming.
There are worse deals coming.
Right.
But there ain't no better deal coming.
There's no better deal coming. So if that's what you're waiting for, or you think
not happening.
That's not the way we operate at GKIC at all. So now is the time to get it. Now, Dan, I had a lot of fun in the lightning round. Let's do another one right after this, okay? So we're going to do another lightning round where Dan will be answering your questions. So put those in. But before you put your question in, push the
damn button.
Okay, and we'll see you guys in just about.
It's too bad we can't just take questions from the people who push the button, like the psychic answers the questions.
That would be best.
With the $20 bill wrapped around it. But we can't.
We cannot do that. We will take anybody's question. So we'll be back very soon, about 10 minutes. So now is your time to take advantage of this and get the ultimate lead generation machine. Completely guaranteed. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Yeah, that whole Matt Zagula.
Welcome to City Phone Banking. Your account balance is $6,000.47. My name is Susan Berkeley, and I'm the founder of the great